Good morning. I am Ranjit Kaur, representing Shahid Bhajan Singh Memorial Senior Secondary School, proud to speak on the truth the world must face child marriage. But before diving, let us first know that what is child marriage? Child marriage is when girls are under 18 and are forcibly to marry. It is a practice that swaps dreams for chains. And let's have a look that what does child marriages look in the issue world's largest democracy, India. Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao is the title given by government, but still over 1.41 billion population, 3.3% girls drop out school due to child marriages. The practice is driven by poverty, lack of education, and deep-rooted social traditions, especially in rural areas. Nearly 1 in 4 girls is married before 18, even though Prohibition of Child Act stands out on paper. Then, if we move and cross the border to Nepal, the challenge deepens. Child marriage is a human right violation restricting children's choice, changing their course in life and putting them at significant risk. Although the legal age of unions for both sexes is 20, more than a third of young women aged 20 to 24 report that they were married by age of 18, and just over 1 in 10 by 15 Nepali boys are among mostly likely in the world to be child grooms. Most and more than 1 in 10 is married before they reach 18. They see child marriage as economic relief, but it lacks girls out of classrooms and into early motherhoods. And if we move west to Afghanistan, we can see that even this harsh reality move across and deepen. Conflict and hunger push rates about to 40%. It's really hard to believe that child marriage, which has become a curse for women, has really poor conditions in Afghanistan. Report says that around 28% of Afghan women aged between 15 to 49 were married before turning 18. Other reports suggest that up to 46% of women are married by age of 18. Some girls are promised before they can even write their own names. And yet, even far away in Europe, we can see that. And Sweden reminds us that this isn't only an Asian problem, yet it is a wealthy nation not immune. Foreign child marriages are not recognized, closing loopholes and could otherwise harm children. Sweden has one of the most strictest laws in the world and setting the minimum age at 18 with no exceptions. Despite strong laws, cases still exist, often linked to honor-related violence and migration background. Here we have the pie chart. Here we have the pie chart, and here you can see that all 4 countries compared in one glance. Afghanistan has the largest ties, followed by Nepal and India, and Sweden is invisible, but it holds a place. It holds a place that still, somehow, unless and minimum, there are rates of child marriages in Sweden. Moving towards the conclusion, I would like to say that child marriage in India, Afghanistan, and Nepal is just not a statistic. It is a shadow of poverty, tradition, and inequality. We can see that in India, the cause of high rates of child marriages is their mentality. Whereas in Afghanistan, due to politics and unstable government, girls are forced to get married. Talking about Nepal, it's considered as a tradition, and the one who doesn't marry early is known as poor or due to lack of economic. But I would just like to say that the wealth and strong laws in Sweden doesn't allow girls to marry early, whereas also in 3 nations in South Asia continue to face the problem, mostly because of poverty, mentality, and social traditions. But my dear friends, I would like and I would suggest that you guys will stand up and against the child marriage and will fight for your own rights. Thank you. Good morning everyone. Today I, Smira, and I, Dhyani, class 9 students from Shahid Bhajan Singh Memorial Senior Secondary School. Today we will like to take you on a short journey to explore the school enrollment rate and what school enrollment really means.
Before we move further, you might wonder that what does school enrollment really mean?
बस
So, school enrollment is the number of students who are studying per year at different levels, from primary to higher education. So, let's first talk about our country, India. In India, a huge population is there, and many students like to educate themselves. At primary level, the gross enrollment rate is about 112%, which shows that every child is getting educated themselves. But at secondary level, the rate decreases. It decreased to 78%. But if we move further at higher education, the gross enrollment rate decreases to 33%, showing that only 33% students goes to college and universities. Although India has a good progress, but when it comes to higher education, it decreases so badly. Now, let's talk about Nepal. In Nepal, the gross enrollment rate is about 123%, but in higher education, it decreases to 90%. If we move further in higher education, it further decreases to 20%, showing that only 20% of students are able to go in colleges and universities. In Afghanistan, in primary school, attendance decreased from to 6.8% in 2022 to 5.7% in 2019. Sorry, in Afghanistan, in primary level. Sir, please one kar ek baar.
A very good morning to one and all present here. We the students of class 9 of SBSM school. Education is the most powerful weapon we can use to change the world. And when it is placed in the hand of girls, that change becomes unstoppable. So today, let's talk about why female literacy matters.
This is a world map that shows the global female literacies of different countries, which are indicated by different color codes. Here, we are able to see that the northern countries are much more ahead of southern countries. Now, we will be discussing about the female literacies of India, Nepal, Afghanistan, and Sudan.
So, let's start with our own country, India, where the female literacy rate is about 74%. Here's a graph that shows the improvement in the sector of female literacy in India. We can see that the rate has increased after 2001. It was so because of the initiatives that were taken by the Indian government, such as the CBSE Udan scheme and ULAS. Kerala and Mizoram have shown great improvement, whereas Bihar and Uttar Pradesh still lag behind.
Now let's cross the borders to Nepal, where the female literacy lies between 63%. There is a good improvement in last few decades. This bar graph shows the female literacy of Nepal in different years. It was around 10% in 1981 and in 2021 it has reached 63%. This was all possible because of the hard work of the Nepal government who worked tireless for this improvement and took several initiatives.
Now let's turn to Afghanistan, where the situation is not just grim, it's heartbreaking. Years of conflicts and restrictive policies have left the female literacy rate below 45%. Here's a graph that shows the female literacy rate of Afghanistan in different years. We can see that the female literacy rate has gone down in 2015. It was due to the bans that were imposed by Taliban on the female education.
In stark contrast, Sudan stands as a beacon with female literacy of almost 100%. Girls have access to professional education, legal majority, inheritance rights in the society. Sudan is also considered to be one of the best countries in terms of female literacy. This is all possible because of a society that values individual freedom and gender equality.
In conclusion, female literacy is not just a matter of equality, it is the foundation of a stronger and brighter future. A pen in a woman's hand is more powerful than any force of oppression because it writes the story of progress. Let us remember, a nation can never truly rise if its women are left behind. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
In Afghanistan, in primary level, the gross enrollment rate decreases from 6.8% in 2019 to 5.7% in 2022, showing that attendance has decreased very low, and on at least 1.4 million girls have been denied education due to restrictive policies, and only 10 to 11% of students are eligible for higher education. Thank you. Now I would like to hand over to Samira to continue further.
A country that is far away from the world, but a lesson for the world. Here, every child is granted education for primary at the rate of 116%, for secondary at the rate of 139%, for tertiary about 84% of the population goes to colleges and universities. It sets an example. Anything is possible when education is prioritized and protected. This bar This paragraph displays that school enrollment rate of all countries like India, Nepal, Afghanistan, and Sweden. India leads with the highest school enrollment rate in all education sectors. But Nepal has increased in primary and secondary sector, but not in struggle, but face struggles in higher education. Afghanistan shows the tragedy of denying education in all over the world. Sweden shows that they are in smaller population but still contains a larger population but still maintains a lower number. This slide is known as bibliography. We have used reliable resources like UNESCO, Wikipedia, and digital libraries to collect accurate data on school enrollment. The message is clear that these all nations remind us that it is not only about education, it is about our life. India and Nepal shows the struggle to bring every child to the schools. Afghanistan shows the tragedy of denying education. Sweden shows that it is not just a deal, but a commitment that can achieve. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.